Hey, what's up, world? Welcome back to another episode of Just Grow It, the podcast. I'm your host, Big City Gardener. And as always, the goal of this show is to help you just grow it. I'm trying to help motivate and inspire people to become better gardeners. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about 5 health benefits associated with gardening. Now, I know people often think that, or they might think that I only talk about gardening because of the food at the end. And that is not necessarily the case. There are other reasons why I love gardening. There are other benefits associated with gardening. And today we're going to go over 5 of them. First up is the physical exercise. Yeah. Think about this. Gardening is a great way to participate in physical exercise or to get physical exercise. If you think about any time you've had to transplant plants or plant seeds in your garden, you're bending over, you're using your arm here, you're digging up soil to plant or transplant these plants. Now, all of those things, what they do is they help keep your joints mobile, right, and flexible. Think about it, having to bend over, bend at the knees to get down to an in-ground bed, or bend with your back to get over to a raised bed, or simply, right here, check this out, this motion right here, digging soil. What that does is that helps promote an increased range of motion, all right? It also helps improve our hand strength, our dexterity, and our hand-eye coordination, which are all important as we get a little bit older. Not to mention that gardening for 2.5 hours a week, not a day, but an entire week, you will achieve the same target heart rate that you would if you were having a light workout. Also, have you ever had to dig a bunch of plants up or carry a wheelbarrow across the garden filled with soil, carry bags of mulch or anything like that? I guarantee when you woke up the next day, your body was a little sore. That's because you're using muscles that you're not used to using or that you don't regularly use. See, that's that physical exercise right there, which is important as we get older, like I mentioned. So, the second health benefit of gardening is stress relief and improved moods. Have you ever heard of cortisol? All right, well, cortisol is directly related to our stress levels. And it has been shown that by simply gardening for 2 hours by simply gardening for 30 minutes a day, we can help decrease our cortisol levels, which will help decrease our stress levels. And as we know, when we decrease our stress, usually we increase our mood and we end up feeling better about just our day-to-day things. And who doesn't want a world filled with happier people? I know that I do, right? Now, another thing when it comes to improving your mood is that there are naturally occurring bacteria in the soil that whenever they come in contact with your hands, come in contact with your skin, they have been scientifically proven to improve your mood. Now, the name of this bacteria is Mycobacterium vaccae. You don't believe me? Look it up. Vaccae is Vaccae. Check it out. Guarantee that when you read it, it'll blow your mind away. It'll also make you realize that when you were younger and your parents used to tell you, just go outside, get your hands in the dirt, just go get dirty. They didn't realize it, or maybe they did, but that process was helping us improve our moods as kids. So now I'm passing that along to my kids. Whenever they're in a bad mood, tell them go outside, go dig in the dirt. You'll come back in and you'll feel better. All right, the third health benefit associated with gardening is the exposure to vitamin D. Yep. So we all know that vitamin D is associated with sunlight. So by going outside and exposing ourselves to the sunlight, we are getting more vitamin D. But why do we need more vitamin D in our life? Check this out. Vitamin D is directly related to calcium levels. So if we increase our vitamin D, we are also increasing our calcium levels. Now, I'm not mentioning calcium levels to talk about the strength of our bones or anything, right? When I talk about the calcium levels, I will tell you that increased calcium levels have been shown to decrease things like certain cancers or heart risk or even osteoporosis. Again, see, this is why gardening is such a beautiful thing. Not only can we get great healthy food, but we can also improve the moods of the entire world. And this is one reason why you'll always hear me telling you that gardening is the best thing that you can do, not just you listening, but anybody can do for themselves and for the world. Now, the fourth health benefit of gardening has to do with the food, and that is the nutrient density of the food. See, nutrient density is the amount of nutrients related to the amount of calories within food. But it is impossible to grow nutrient-dense food unless you're growing it in nutrient-dense soil. Now, I don't know that all of these big mega farms have nutrient-dense soil. So I don't know that the vitamins or the minerals or the nutrients that are supposed to be associated with certain fruits and vegetables are actually in those vegetables. Check this stat out. It might blow your mind like it did to me. They say that in 1951, an adult woman could meet her daily requirements of vitamin A by simply eating 2 peaches. Now, today in 2021, actually, this stat is from 2002. So they said that in 2002, in order to receive the exact same amount of vitamin A, an adult woman would have to eat 53 peaches to get the same amount of vitamin A. Well, that shows me right there that the soil that all of this food is being grown in is not as nutrient dense as it once was in 1951. Therefore, if that applies to peaches, what about other fruits and vegetables? Do our carrots have all the vitamins and the beta carotene that they say they do? What about our oranges? Are they packed with as much vitamin C as they claim to be? Who knows? But I know one way we can guarantee that they are, and that is by gardening and growing it ourselves. Just grow it like I say. Now, the fifth and final health benefit associated with gardening also has to deal with the food. And that is we are able to pick our food at peak freshness and ensure that we have safer food. Now, why is picking our food at peak freshness important? Well, in order to get the most nutritious food, we need to wait until the most nutrients are available within our crop. By picking and harvesting things early, we do not allow the plant all the necessary time to develop all those nutrients. Here's another stat for you. Something like lettuce. Lettuce loses about 50% of its nutrients within 7 days of being harvested. See, peak freshness. Think about the salad that you buy from the grocery store in the plastic clamshell. Do you know when it was harvested? Do you know how many nutrients are still within that lettuce or leafy greens in that clamshell? We don't. We just have to take people's word for it. But one way we can guarantee that our lettuce and our other leafy greens are extremely nutrient dense is by picking them at peak freshness out of our own garden. If I want a salad, why not grow lettuce in my backyard? Walk outside when I want a salad, cut the lettuce, take it inside, and eat it right then. Within 20 minutes of harvesting, I will be eating that lettuce and eating that salad. So it is guaranteed that I am eating it at its peak freshness, which, like we just said, will ensure that we are getting the most nutrients available in that food into our body. Also, I mentioned safer food. Think about it, right? If we talk about earlier, we mentioned the nutrient density. We talked about how the soil is not as nutrient dense as possible or as nutrient dense as it used to be. Think about why that may be. A lack of organic matter in the soil and, people spraying, commercial farmers spraying these crops with all sorts of fungicides and pesticides and insecticides. Now, if you've ever looked at one of the bottles for any of these pesticides, okay, you'll notice that they tell you things like wear long sleeves, don't get this in contact with your skin. And if you read the fine print, you'll see that a lot of these things are carcinogens, meaning they can cause cancer. Yep. Well, why would I want to eat something that could help cause cancer in my body? That's not what I want. Also, another thing about a lot of these fungicides, pesticides, insecticides, we'll just call them sprays. One thing about a lot of these sprays is that they are systemic, meaning that they are applied to the root zone of the plant. The roots take it up and then they shoot all of this protection. They shoot all of the benefits of these sprays into our plant and then out of the leaves and the stem and the fruits. But as we know, when it comes to gardening, anything we put into the soil that comes in contact with the roots, it has to work its way out of the plant somehow. And usually what ends up happening is a lot of the fruit, the produce, the vegetables, the leaves, all of those things, they tend to have trace amounts of these carcinogens in them. Think about it. Think about all the times within the past 5 to 10 years you've gone to the grocery store and you've seen a recall on certain products, whether it's lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, it doesn't matter. What's better than being able to grow our own food and know that it is safer than a lot of the food that we're able to purchase from the grocery stores? Cool. That's it. Those are 5 health benefits associated with gardening. Hopefully you found this informative. If you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell a friend or 2. I won't get mad if you tell 3. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Just Grow It. Shout out my man, St. Trent. Y'all have a great day. I'll check you on the next episode. Before I let you go, I need you to do more than one thing. First, I need you to like, comment, subscribe to the podcast. Second, I need you to tell a friend or 2 about the show if you enjoyed it. And if you have anybody you think I need to talk to, I should interview, send the name over, put it in the comments, or send me an email, igrow@BigCityGardener. And check me out, man, on Instagram and on all social media platforms, Big City Gardener. We out. Oh, almost forgot. Just grow it.